Hi guys, and welcome to a brand new episode of All Stuff Film. I'm Marcel Dorian, actor, director, sometimes producer, and today I will guide you through the basics of how to write, produce, and direct a low-budget feature film that has chances of finding distribution and recouping its budget. Now, I will base this video on my experiences from shooting Introspectum Motel, a low-budget psychological thriller which is currently streaming on most major platforms. I will keep this video short, to the point, and I will try not to sugarcoat anything. This video is for those of you who really want to make a movie. You have to understand that it will be a difficult, exhausting, time and money consuming, a truly monstrous challenge, and you will have to prepare mentally for it. So, you want to make a low budget feature film. Have a look at how much money you can really raise. 20, 40, maybe 60 grand. Now, if you're a first time filmmaker, chances are that people will not throw money at you. So, you will have to learn to work with what you have or can get. Don't promise people that your movie will screen at Sundance. Chances are it will not. If you look at these big festivals, you will see that the movies that screen there usually have budgets between 2 and 10 million and have some names attached, like Stanley Tucci or Jake Gyllenhaal, for example. So I'm not saying it's impossible, but the chances of your low budget movie screening there are as close to winning the lottery. It's best not to promise people anything, but if you have to make a promise them that you will work your ass off to make sure that the movie is successful. Now, for the sake of this discussion, let's say you managed to raise 50 grand. You can divide the budget as follows. 5 grand for pre-production. That means contracts, deposits, some travel to locations. Then 20 grand is your shooting budget. That is for cast, crew, equipment, locations. You need another 20 grand for post-production, online and offline edit, SFX, VFX, score, and then you will need 5 grand for marketing, which is screening and festival fees, ads, etc. Don't spend all your money on shooting it, because you will be surprised that post-production will cost you just as much. Also, be realistic with what you can achieve with 50 grand. With 50 grand, you cannot shoot a high-end sci-fi. Special effects cost time and money, and you don't have either of those. The most important thing is the story, so focus on that. I recommend you write the genre you like. I love psychological thrillers, so that's what I wrote. And then once you have a story that you're happy with, strip it down to the bone and then rebuild it with your budget constraints in mind. How many characters do you really need? Or how many locations? For Introspectum Motel, we mostly used one location, a lakeside motel that we managed to secure cheap because we shot there in the middle of the winter, out of season, and the management was happy to have some extra income. It was a win-win situation. Now, I could have written the story with a lot of fancy locations in mind, but the message would have been the same. Once you have the location secured, the next thing you need to worry about is the crew and the equipment. Now, I looked into freelance professionals who owned their own equipment. Now, this is one thing you cannot compromise on. You need your movie to look and sound just as good as the big budget movies, otherwise streaming platforms won't touch it. The days of shooting stuff with a DSLR are over. Now, you need a really good DOP with a really good camera. He will then, of course, advise you on which lenses to use. I wanted to shoot Introspectum Motel with anamorphic lenses, but because we couldn't afford them, my DOP suggested mounting a cinema projector on top of the camera to achieve the same result. And it worked. Sound is just as important as the way the movie looks. It doesn't matter if it looks great if it sounds like crap. So you need a really good sound recordist with decent equipment. Make sure you record everything with both boom and mics. You will need, of course, focus puller, someone for lights, but chances are that the DOP will be able to recommend people that he has worked with previously. Another thing that's really important is a production designer. Now, you may think that, oh, I'm shooting a location, everything looks great, but a pair of trained eyes will see things that you don't. So trust me on this, you need a production designer, it will add value to your film. Once you have location and crew secured, you can start the casting process. Don't cast friends who are not actors in main roles. You will be sorry if you do. If you have to put them in your movie, give them some extra roles to keep them happy. Audition as many actors as you can. I would suggest to start with a set of self-tapes and then create a shortlist. And then have face-to-face meetings with the actors you chose and pair them together to see if there's chemistry between them. And then hire the best actor for the job. Now, for both crew and cast, make sure you sign contracts. The last thing you need is someone pulling out a day before shooting, and then you will have to find a quick replacement, and quick is usually not good. It can jeopardize your whole project. So make sure to sign contracts. Try to finish pre-production at least a month before principal photography. You need time to prepare mentally for what's about to come. Once you start shooting, the director will have no days off nor much sleep. Once you finish a day's shoot, you will have to go over the footage to see if you have everything that you want. Then you will have to prep for the next day's shoot. It helps if you have an editor close by who can quality check the footage just to make sure you have everything you need. You also need another producer on set who will help with the smooth running of things, and a runner who can help you with all the small things that are really, really important. The last thing you want to worry about is running out of coffee, for example, before a long night shoot. Now, it's also your responsibility to keep the morale up. You are the captain of the ship and you need the cast and the crew to be happy. That way, they will be there for you in a pinch. Stick to a schedule, but also give yourself time to play around with a scene, to discover. Some scenes will take 5 takes, others 30. You never know until you're actually working on them. Prepare as well as you can, but know that you will make mistakes. I didn't know how many mistakes I made until I saw the first cut of the film. We had scenes that just did not work. They worked perfectly on paper, they seemed and felt right when I shot them, but they just did not work in the final assembly. So you have to be ready to cut those scenes and kill your darlings. Now, keep in mind, you will be emotionally attached to every single scene that you shot. So it's important to have an editor who's not afraid to challenge you. We ended up cutting roughly 20 minutes from Introspectum Motel just to make it more balanced and dynamic. As soon as you have an edit you are happy with, start working on sound design, VFX, grading, score, all in the same time. I didn't, and I wasted weeks. Now, sound will probably take the most to tweak. I'd say give it about a month. Now, after all these elements are in place, you can create a provisional master. I wouldn't invest too much money in DCPs at this point because once you secure distribution, the distribution company will give you a new set of specs. You will have to add their logo to your movie, hence making all other deliverables obsolete. Now, a really important aspect. Distribution is more important than the festival circuit. I'm not saying it's not important, but distribution's what you're looking for. There's so many movies that screened at prestigious festivals but never secure distribution and people never heard of them. You want your baby out there for the world to see. That's the whole point of making a movie. I really hope you found this video useful. And as always, if you have other questions, send them to me. I will do my best to answer them. And if you enjoyed this video, hit the subscribe button for notifications on my future videos. All Stuff Film is sponsored by Momentum Candles. If you have a moment, check out the Etsy store. They have some amazing gift ideas. Guys, Thank you for watching. Keep dreaming, keep pushing. You will get there. Take care.